This is Blackpink, the first K-pop group to headline at Coachella. You also probably heard of the band BTS, the TV show Squid Games, and the movie Parasite. That's because they are all part of the Korean wave, the growing popularity of the Korean pop culture at the global stage. What if I told you that the Korean wave hasn't happened by accident, and that it was a deliberate plan driven and funded by the Korean government that started in the late 1990s? 30 years ago, Korea was very different. It had travel bans, censorship, and the music of the time sounded more like this. To understand how Korea went from censorship to the Korean wave, to Parasite winning an Oscar, and BTS becoming the first band since the Beatles to have 3 #1 hits on Billboard, we need to go back a few years after the Korean War. This is the story of Kpop. At the end of World War II, Korea was divided into 2 zones of occupation. The Soviet administered the northern half, and the American administered the southern half. After the war, the Korean government was concerned that Koreans would travel abroad would get attracted to communist ideologies, so they decided to set a travel ban. They didn't want Korean tourists to get crazy ideas abroad, so they kinda closed down the country. And it was kinda a little bit more complicated than that, since there was some economic factors involved. But stay with me, you'll see how that all relates to K-pop and K-drama. So until the mid-1980s, it was very difficult for Koreans to travel abroad. To travel, you will have to pay a steep tourism deposit worth about 2 million Korean won, and if you were over the age of 50, you had a higher chance of getting travel visas. This is why most of the Koreans who went abroad at the time were CEOs and corporate executives, usually known as pillars of industries. In February 1988, this guy became Korea's president. This is Roh Tae-woo. His government set out to eliminate past vestiges of authoritarian rule by revising laws and decrees to fit democratic provisions. Freedom of the press was expanded, university autonomy recognized, and restrictions on overseas travels were lifted. Shortly after his inauguration, the Seoul Olympics took place. After the game, the Korean government finally recognized the importance of culture in an era of globalization. Then, Roh Tae-woo was succeeded by this guy. This is Kim Young-sam, who became president in 1992. After taking office, his administration proposed a 5-year plan for cultural development. They also launched Segewa globalization policy. This shift toward globalization planted the seed for the rise of Hallyu, or the Korean wave. Following a long period of military dictatorship in South Korea, these changes opened up liberal expression and encouraged creativity. Then when in 1997, Asia faced a financial crisis, South Korea decided to invest on the export of popular media culture as a new economic initiative. Now things are slowly starting to connect. It's during that time that South Korea pop group Seo Taiji and Boys debuted and marked the debut of modern K-pop. During that time, the government still wanted to spread the Korean culture internationally, so they made 2 key decisions that helped spread the culture. They turned to K-drama, which became a hit in neighbor countries like Japan and China. During that time, several Korean television dramas were broadcasted in China. While in the US, thanks to the lift on travel bans, the promotion of Korean pop culture started with Korean American and students studying abroad. With that, the Korean wave developed into the foreign diplomacy of South Korea. Today, South Korea wants the world to learn Korean with K-pop. If more people are speaking Korean, the thinking goes that can only be good for business, economy, and national prestige. The Korean Culture Ministry is even working with international universities to produce Korean language educational courses, such as Learn Korean with BTS. It is not just BTS, but also the entire Korean entertainment industry as a whole that is contributing to Korea's soft power. And this is how K-pop took over the world, and this is why now you are seeing all these Korean TV drama on Netflix and Hulu. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I see you guys on the next one.